Real talk, real impact, unfiltered and unapologetic. This is FemmeIcon.
Assalamu alaikum, everybody. This is Mahvish Akhtar with another episode of FemmeIcon. Now, as you can see, we are talking about mental health today. And as usual, we're going to wait for a few more of our followers to join us. And it is a very important topic. So we're going to let people come on board. And I apologize for my throat. It's been those kinds of couple of weeks, the weather back and forth, and whenever I'm a little bit tired, I sort of, my tiredness results in a sore throat and not being able to talk. I think it's, whenever there's a lot going on, like vacation and guests, weddings, you're talking, and I'm a talker. As you guys know, the first thing to go is my voice. That's why I have my tea while I talk to you guys. So yeah, we're just explaining mental health today. We're just discussing what mental health is and why it's important to take care of our mental health. And you start from the very beginning, right? And before I get into the actual topic, we have some courses coming up. And as you guys know, I'm super excited about these courses. I'm super excited about meeting all of you, about interacting with you, about talking to you, because we will be talking about the world, our lives, how religion and philosophy and the Quran, everything fits into our lives, and how history and things that have happened in the past, all of that fits into our lives, and how we can use it to better ourselves and to pass it on to our next generation, our friends and our family and people that we care about. So this is super exciting for me. So next week, Monday, our first course is starting. Please go to our bio. We have the registration form over there. The course is self-actualization through the Quran. It's going to be amazing. We've done this before, and it's been a success. Everybody loves it. And of course, every time we improve it a little bit, and we try to listen to your suggestions and your advice, because it's not just you learning, it's us learning how to pass on the information. And of course, learning is always a two-way, or however many students there are, constant flow of information both ways, in every direction. So we all learn together. So please register. And if you have any questions about it, ask us. We will explain to you what it is. You will be given details for it. You'll be explained what the course is as you go along. And there will be, the first session will be an orientation session where everything will be explained to you on how we will proceed with the course. We'll go slow if you need us to. We'll pick up the pace. We'll go according to all of you and all the participants and your plan. It will be live. Weekly classes. Details will be given to, of course, those of you interested. And hello to all the rest of you who just joined. Of course, details will be given to the participant at the time of registration and at the orientation. So please go register and please contact us for further details. So that was about the course. And then we have more courses, of course, in the coming month. There's one next week, and then there's one in February, and then March. They're about communication, emotional and physical, verbal, nonverbal communication. which is extremely important, whether you're, studying, whether you're working, whether you're just wanting to communicate with people around you, your parents, your family members, your husband, your wife, your, other partners, anywhere in the world you are, whatever you're doing, you need communication. You need to understand people, how they talk to you, what they, what they're thinking. So that course, actually, it was really fun for me to put together because that, I'm a journalist, so that everything for me, that is what we do. We more than literally asking people questions, and we pick up on the non-verbal cues. We pick up on what they're not saying. That makes our stories, basically, And then we have Journalism 101, where we just basically try writing and teaching writing techniques and whatnot. So January, February, and March. So check those out. Register for whatever you want to, or for all of them. I would love to have all of you there. And love to get to know you and talk to you and explore. All right. So that was about the courses. Let's get to our topic, which is mental health. And we are having actually mental health week next week, where we had our legal week, and the response was amazing. Thank you so much for appreciating what we're doing for you, and let us know what else you need us to do for you, and what information you need us to pass on, because it's all about giving information, creating awareness, so that you guys can make a difference with us, with our help. But the change that's going to come is going to be with the help, with your help. So we're going to have a mental health week where we will give information about mental health and different issues related to it. So we thought, let's start with, what is mental health? We keep talking about it. Take care of your mental health, and mental health is important. Mental health matters. Women's mental health, and all of those things. Okay. Hey, everybody. I see all of you, and I don't want to break my flow, so I'm going to keep going. And if you guys have any comments, questions related to the topic, please jump in. And at any point you can't hear me because of my voice, or I'm mumbling, also stop me. So there are many definitions, but the most basic and the most basic and understandable definition would be a state of well-being, a state of being that, where you're at in your life, where that allows you to cope with life stresses, the difficulties that a person has in life, the problems that a person has in life, where you're at a place in your life, at a position mentally, at a position in life where you can handle those things, where you can cope with those things, and learn to work within the society, learn to work within the society, keep relationships within the society, and contribute to your community. That's the definition of being in proper mental health. So you're mentally healthy when you're able to cope with life issues and stresses, and you have learned to work properly within the society, within the norms of the society. You're able to contribute and work and keep a relationship within your community. I mean, we could go deeper into it, but this is just a general definition of healthy, when you're mentally healthy. Now, here's some guidelines, if you will, for that. Thinking clearly, being responsible, meaning, paying your bills on time. If you're in school, going to school on time. If you're, at working, going to work on time, and, all of that. meeting challenges, your work challenges, your study challenges, your relationship challenges. Again, good relationship, keeping decent relationships, keeping toxic people away, keeping your boundaries straight, learning abilities. You should be, again, when you're meeting challenges, that includes learning ability. That you're learning the material that you're given within your age and mental level capacity, whether it's at work or it's in your studies or it's at home or whatever environment that you are supposed to be in. Ability to express and manage feelings and emotion. So every age has its own level of emotion and feeling, and its own level of ability to manage those emotions. Right? So a 10-year-old is going to manage his emotions in a different way. A 10-year-old will throw a tantrum if they don't get something they want. I mean, not in the same way. They might get angry and scream and yell, right? If they're asking for something like, but I really want it, but why can't I have it? But, but why, right? That may go on. But a 20-year-old, might just be like, okay, fine, I'll save up for it. Even if it's an extra thing that they shouldn't be getting, and they'll be upset, they'll be annoyed, but they'll know that I can't keep demanding it from my parents. I'll save it. And maybe it's a bad idea. Maybe it's not a good spend, but they'll know to control their emotions and not keep badgering their parents. And so that's controlling of emotions. It should be, a 20-year-old should not be throwing a tantrum. For a 10-year-old to do that kind of thing, but why, makes sense. But a 20-year-old, so to express emotions, they can say, dude, why would you not let me find them? I'll do it myself. That should be a 20-year-old's reaction. A 10-year-old's reaction should be, but why? I mean, it shouldn't, but it is okay if they have that reaction. So to be able to express the feelings and the right age, right atmosphere and all of that, and then to manage when you have a disappointment. That's also part of a person in proper mental health capacity. So that's what basically mental health is. When somebody says, take care of your mental health, that's what they mean. When somebody says you are not taking care of your mental health, that means they're overstressed. They're not reacting properly to their environment. They're not reacting age appropriately. They're not able to control their emotions or express their emotions appropriately. And that's basically all it is. They can't balance their work. They can't balance their studies. They're having a difficult time keeping everything in check. That's all it means. There's nothing more to it. They're not being labeled as crazy or as inadequate in any way. Now, we'll explain all these things a little bit more later on, but let's move on to the brain. Because this is all coming from the brain. And everything is coming from the brain. So if I were to talk about today, how does the liver work? What does the liver do for us? If I were to explain the liver function to you, I would. Okay, so hi to everybody who has joined us since then. There's a lot of you. Thank you for being here. Let me just repeat myself. Can't go over all the names, and there's a lot of you. I don't want to waste time doing that because I want to keep this concise. If you guys have any questions, any comments, please go ahead. I will be happy to respond to those. But yeah, I see all of you. See all of your names. And I'm really bad at pronouncing a lot of these names that you guys have, like, the way they're written. So I'm just going to leave it be. Okay. So, I wasn't? Yeah. So if I was going to, explain the liver to you, for example, explaining how the liver works. At some point, I would have to explain brain function. Because at the end of the day, every organ we have is controlled by the brain. Right? So I would have to say, and then the brain, and then this happens, and that happens, and brain does this, and the brain does this. So it's the same with, our mental health. Every emotion, because it's about emotion, about feeling. All of those emotions and feelings are controlled by the brain. So we cannot not talk about the brain and talk about our emotions. In fact, that's all it is. They are inside our brain, which is an organ. So that's the first thing. Talking about the brain, it's an organ. Like the liver, as I gave you that example. So it's made up of billions of nerve cells, also called neurons. Listen in biology again. If you didn't know, they're called neurons. Now, this is the part that you need to pay attention to. I know that all of you know these basic things, but here's what you need to pay attention to when it comes to mental health and psychology and all of that. Neuron, now we know that these are cells, right? So tiny, tiny, tiny cells. Billions of cells inside our head. So imagine how tiny they are. If there are billions, hundreds and thousands of them, billions of them, how tiny they must be. So these neurons communicate with each other. So if we, take the liver's example, if the liver has a function, anytime the liver has to do its job, these neurons are communicating and then sending a message through the spine, because they communicate through the spine, right? The spinal cord. Sending the message down to the liver or whatever else organ, but they're sending messages through the communication that they do with each other. And so these communication channels are called synapses, and if you wanted to know that information, it's important for us in terms of psychology to know this information. Now, the brain, this organ is made of 60% fat. Why is that important to know? Just like to keep our liver or our other parts of our body. See, I'm just stuck on liver because I said it and now it's in my brain. We need to eat healthy. We need to eat, we need calcium for our nails. We need, for our teeth, for our nails, for this, for that, for this. We need to keep our brain healthy also, because these fats in the brain, they're important. They're important for our brain to run in a proper way. They're important for neurons to be shooting at the speed that they shoot at, and for all the other functions that are, relevant, but too much detail. So we need to feed it. There are certain foods you need to eat. People say, eat this for your brain health, eat that, do this, do workout, read, stimulation, blah, blah, blah. All of those things also needed for your brain's physical health, to keep that 60% fat, to keep those other, parts of the zipping around, the neurons, all of that going. So all of that is important. The physical portion, the substance portion is also extremely important. And keeping our emotions and our feelings and how we react to things is also important. So we need to view it that way so that we understand that so we do away with a little bit of stigma that we carry. Because this is not just like, oh, it's just feelings. Talk about it, you'll be fine, or get over it. No, this is a solid organ, and we need to take care of it. Along with, this is not something that can just poof go away. You can't make your, click your fingers and make this go away. It won't, because this is the same thing as, something, God forbid, happening to your lungs or something happening to your arm or your liver. You see, it's the same thing. Our brains are not fully formed until the age of 25. This is researched information. I know that you youngins are going to be like, nah, we know everything. We know how to live our life. But yeah, that's actually a fact. So 86 billion neurons. Over time, the neurons grow and they multiply, and we don't know how many we actually have. 86 billion is just like a rough idea how much, a rough number, how much we start with. And then we have so many, they keep growing, they keep multiplying, and it's just how many are zipping around, connecting, communicating, what else is happening. It's so much of it. It's extremely complex. Scientists have not figured out how much of the brain we use and how complex it is. Completely, the brain has not been studied like 100% of, the 100% of the brain has not been studied yet. It is extremely complex. It has indefinite, immense capacity. And here's the point. Of course, it's unlimited. These neurons are unlimited. Just like we can make it better, we can make it healthier by all these techniques, and then other techniques that we will talk about in a minute. It can also be damaged. These neurons can be damaged. If your brain is not developed by 25 and you're not taking care of it properly, whether it's through psychological help or through, things that you eat, things that you put in your body, not giving it proper care in other ways, like I said, it can be damaged. The effects may not be present right away. You may not see it right. Sometimes you do see it right away. If you're doing drugs, if you're not eating properly, if you're eating a lot of junk, unhealthy food, let's say, and other not getting enough sleep and all of other unhealthy lifestyle that you adopt. And then you have a lot of stress in your life that you are not responsible for, that other people are responsible for. Then, your neuron will get damaged. And they're real things. They're not imaginary. They are zipping around in your brain, and they are communicating, and those communication channels will shut down. Those neurons will start to die off or get damaged. And that is how mental illnesses, diseases, stress, all sorts of problems, which we call depression, anxiety, maybe even at an older age, Alzheimer's, and all other diseases that are actually physical, MS, and all these problems start to happen. So physical, neurological diseases, and mental illness. They happen because our brain starts to get damaged. Because the wiring that's in the brain, either it gets crossed, the communication going in the wrong direction, or it cut off. Neurons are dying. They're getting damaged. You see, it's not a matter of just being lazy. If you try, you can do it. No, but that communication channel, when our brain was supposed to tell us, it's okay to be happy. It's okay to feel certain feeling. That communication channel has been cut. How are we supposed to make ourselves? Do you think? You can't make yourself if that communication has been cut. Like some people don't have a sense of smell. That's because that communication has been cut. So if you shove like flowers into their nose, they're not going to be able to smell it. You smell them. No, you can smell them. If you try really, really hard, that communication, the sense of smell has been cut in their brain. They're not going to be able to smell it, no matter how much you shove it in their face. It's the same thing. Now, what is psychology? I pretty much told you, but let's get into the definition properly. It's the scientific study of the brain. You study brain from not just a biological point of view, like how many neurons and when does it grow, how does it grow. You study it scientifically to see how it influences behavior and social settings. And how it then, like, for example, you have neurons, we know, and they communicate, right? So if I'm sitting with other people, this is like just generally we're talking about for a person one-on-one, individual, on my own. But how would my neurons react with another person in a social setting? How would it react if somebody talks to me a certain way? How would it react when I'm studying? How would it react when I'm going to work? How would it react when I'm with my in-laws? How would it react with, so different influences with behavior, with people. So we use different methods. People started using different methods to figure that out. And there was research started being done and different theories started to come out because people are like, okay, we're going to observe this situation and then we're going to see how this ends and we're going to research it. And, so that's what psychology is. Basically the scientific study of the brain and how the brain reacts, how the neurons react and communicate with each other when there's influence, and how behavior changes within the influence of the society. So let me just give you a phrase for it. Scientific study of the brain and how it influences behavior. Okay, so that is what psychology is. What is therapy? A treatment that helps people identify and change troubled behavior, thoughts, and emotion. So we know what psychology is. It's a scientific study of behavior, right? Now, therapy is a treatment that helps people identify. And that's not all it is. We're going to go in more steps. First is identify if there's a problem in their behavior. And then if you are able to identify it, once you've identified, then you go to somebody to help you change that behavior, change those thoughts, change those emotions, and go towards. And obviously, this is not going to be a one-time thing like, oh, I feel like I'm really, really agitated all the time. All right, don't be agitated. Okay, I won't be. That's not how it works, right? All right, so why? What happens? What happened? What was the first time this happened? Where were you? Are you married? Are you not married? Are you working? Are you studying? So there's a whole set of things, and it's a long process. Now, what else does therapy do? Cope with stressful life events. So one thing that we do in therapy, or therapists do, is treatment that helps people identify and change troubled behavior, thoughts, and emotions. Cope with stressful life events. Deal with symptoms that have no physical explanation. So what would be those symptoms? Agitated, anger over things that are not really that big a deal. And that happens, sometimes you just get angry, you're snapping at your kids, even though you're not really mad at your kid. It's, small things set you off, or you can't focus at work or at studying, or people talking to you and you're zoned out and stressed. All sorts of different things that don't have it's not a physical problem, but it's there and you don't know what it is, or even to just improve your quality of life. You feel like like we talked about, it's not your eating habit or sleep cycle, or just you feel like you're just down, or you're just not living your best life as you were like maybe a year ago, 6 months ago, and you want to figure out why you're not, or just want to go back to that, or start something new, you can call a therapist and just figure out what happened, or just say, okay, I want to fix things for myself. I want a better life, or I want a better relationship with so and so. I want a better relationship with my husband, with my fiance, my whatever partner, or my parents, whatever it may be. Identify root cause of identify root cause of a problem, of a situation. The thing that, again, there is a problem, there's a situation, there's some kind of issue that you're facing. You want to know why this is happening. And until you know the why, you can't get to the how, and you can't solve it. And even if it's not something that you can solve, you need to have closure about it. That, okay, I have a rotten relationship with a friend. How did it get so bad? And if you were able to figure it out, then at least you have it. You know that, okay, this is not going to be solved, but this is what happened, and I need to be okay with it, So sometimes you just need that. And that is what therapy is for. And the thing that is most important to understand about therapy is we go for 2, 3, 4 sessions, and then we say, it's not working. I've been going and there's not, koi fayda nahi hua, koi change nahi aayi. But the important thing is that therapy itni jaldi effect nahi nazar aata. Agar to koi chota mota problem hota hai na, chota mote se mera matlab ye hai ki you just want to lose weight. Okay, we can give you a regime and you follow it, and then that's it. But if you have eating disorder, right? Eating disorder होते हैं उसमें you're eating too much, or your eating is related to your stress level. कि आपको ज़्यादा stress होता है तो you eat too much, or you stop eating completely, or you're anorexic, or इस तरह का कोई issue है. तो फिर that is not just like हम आपको plan दे दें eating का and you're following it, or कोई इस तरह की चीज़. That is, that means that's coming from your childhood. There's something happened, there's some trauma attached to it, or some other bigger issue behind it. So then we have to go back to that and resolve that. You see? तो वो एक लंबा process है, and that will not be resolved in 4 or 5 sessions, because one session is an hour long. तो 5-6 घंटे हो गए ना, वो 4 or 5 sessions है 5-6 घंटे. 5-6 घंटों में तो जो कुछ आपके childhood में हुआ, we don't know you like that. ठीक है ना? So we have to figure out कि आपको पहले आपका comfort level करना है, आपको जो भी आपकी therapist है, they have to get to know you. You have to get to know them enough to be comfortable with them, to be able to talk to them, and then open up to them. And then they have to find that one issue that got you to this point. Because आपकी life में तो क्या हुआ है, right? So they have to know, navigate, and then find that issue that led to this problem, and then help you resolve it to the point that the problem that you're facing isn't a problem anymore. So for some people, it's faster. For some people, it is slower. I mean, there's no way to tell कि कितना time लगेगा, but you need to, if you are comfortable and you like your psychologist, then please give it time. या तो आपको click ही नहीं हो रहा ना, अपने psychologist की therapist ही click नहीं हो रहा ना, you're not comfortable opening up to them, or their attitude is not okay with you, that's a different thing. Then yeah, you can switch. Completely understand that. But if you are clicking with them and you do have an understanding with them, एक rapport बन गई है, then don't say कि मैं कितना 3-4 session किए हैं, 5 session किए हैं, 7 session किए हैं, मुझे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ा. She's very nice, he's very, very nice, and we get along, and they understand me, and deal मेरे साथ बहुत अच्छा कर रहे हैं, लेकिन कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ा. Takes a lot of time. We have to dig deep. We have to find within your mind such a complex place. And, some people take a lot of time opening up. And some people open up really fast, but then they tell us things. And everything is important. Everything you tell us is important. But we have to, when you're telling us things, we have to guide you to the thing that we are working on in that particular time period. So we have to listen to you, but then also guide you. कि अभी ये वाली बात नहीं है, अभी हमें इस तरफ जाना है, तो वो ऐसे निकालें आप. So it's a lot of work. So please give them time. So yeah. So this thing is extremely important to please remember. कि therapy में ये चीज बहुत जरूरी होती है कि you have to give them more time. And that is the biggest problem कि आप फिर बीच में जब छोड़ देते हैं तो for us it's really disappointing because we want to help you. We want to see you through. We want you to get that help and get it, to the end. और फिर यही होता है कि फिर जो आप इसे जो लोग कर रहे हैं ना, then when you leave and you're like, therapy doesn't work. Yeah, I tried it. It doesn't work. It's like, it does work. Just stick with it. It does work. Now, बहुत सारे जो हमारे सवाल आते हैं हमारे पास, तो उसमें से एक ये भी होता है कि what is the difference between psychotherapy and counseling and other types of therapies? They're just different types of therapy. These are all therapies which are done by psychologists, which are done by counselors, but these are all therapies that are designed to help you. To help you get better. All these जो brain की issues हैं जो हम discuss कर चुके हैं, they're all designed to help you. And different बहुत सारी ये हम किसी और दफ़ा कवर कर सकते हैं कि किस तरह की therapies होती हैं और किस तरह की counseling होती है और उसकी क्या degrees होती हैं. तो that really जो हमारे पास clients आते हैं उनकी concern नहीं, वो हमारी concern है कि हम किस के पास उनको भेजें, वो किस चीज़ से, because we just ask them mainly कि क्या what issues are you coming with, like what are you feeling, what do you feel you should be you want to concentrate on. So if they say कि I just want to basically fix my life, I feel like I'm not doing enough or maybe potential नहीं है, तो उनको हम usually counseling करवा देते हैं. And if they say कि I've been depressed, मेरा कुछ करने का दिल नहीं चाह रहा, मेरा कोई बिल्कुल, so we feel कि अगर ये depression के symptoms हैं, anxiety के symptoms हैं, तो then they need psychotherapy. तो कुछ इस तरह के हैं differences, which if I start going into them तो बहुत लंबी चीज़ हो जाएगी. तो we have हमको पता होता है कि कौन किस category में fall करता है और हम उनको उसी तरह से therapy देते हैं. तो these are all psychotherapy, counseling, हर किस्म की types हैं. They are all types of counseling. और इससे ज़्यादा कुछ नहीं है. और हम जब करते हैं तो we tell you कि हम आपको ये like we're gonna आपकी counseling करेंगे और हम आपकी psychotherapy करेंगे या हम आपको CBT शुरू करेंगे, whatever हम CBT कर रहे हैं, जो भी हम कर रहे हैं, we let you know at the time. So the hardness. Well, then you should get therapy done by you haven't started therapy yet, right? So let's regularly get therapy. That is the only solution. So yeah. Now, how do one identify that they need any kind of help? And we've talked about it. Anytime you feel anything out of place, you give us a call, give us an email, give us a DM, and not just us, anybody, any kind of professional that you know or you found to be trustworthy. And if you can't find anybody, ask a friend, ask a family member, anyone that you trust. Yeah, I'm sorry, we can't the helpers and whoever else, and we can't join, we can't just take people on live like this If you want to, you can contact us separately and we can arrange some kind of collaboration. So, if there's any kind of feeling, if you're feeling something is different in your brain, some feeling is off, you're feeling tired, you're feeling out of place, or there's, just anything doesn't feel right. Don't let people tell you, ito hota hai, thakad to sabko hoti hai. Sadness to ho jati hai every now and again. All of these things, just don't let people tell you what your feelings mean and how your body is reacting. Like if you're saying you're in pain, if you're feeling pain, don't let people tell you, oh, it's just a little bit, it will get better. No. If you're feeling it, then it matters. You see? So, जब physical के लिए और हमारे औरतों के साथ तो ये बहुत होता है. Young, old, no matter what kind of pain it is, it's minimized. For same goes for feeling. If you're feeling it, then you're feeling it. Whether it's a lot or little. So that's how you identify emotional distress, mental health issues. That's it. And you contact somebody that you trust, whether it's a mental health professional or it's a family member, it's a friend. Tell them, I need help. I feel like I need help. I need to talk to somebody. And I need to figure out, is this real or is it just something that's going to pass? And even if it's something that's going to pass, it's better to find out than to not find out and just suffer, right? So, how is the mental health profession different from any other medical profession? And that's another question people ask you. Well, जब भी बात होती है medical profession, हाँ, लेकिन ये तो medical profession नहीं है. But it's exactly that. जो psychiatrists होते हैं, वो medical school जाते हैं properly. ठीक है? पूरा med school करके फिर वो अपनी जो house job residency जो इसको कहते हैं, वो पूरी residency specialization psychiatry में करते हैं. ठीक है? Only psychiatrists can write medication for mental illness. Now, this is important to note. Psychologists जो हैं वो therapy के through बातचीत, discussion, इस तरह की चीजों के through वो करते हैं, problems, issues को resolve करते हैं. And जो therapies हैं, they're very extensive. And why do they work? We're saying कि brain का जब वो होने लगता है, तो why do these work with the brain when it's an organ and the neurons and all these things are solid? They work because brain, while it's a solid thing, is because it's alive. It's an amazing organ. Allah created this amazing thing. It can be trained. But it takes time and effort. That's what I say कि therapy में don't quit 5-6 sessions के बाद, because it takes time and effort. So we can, अगर वो बिल्कुल dead, gone neurons, तो फिर तो उनका कुछ नहीं हो सकता. जैसे वो जो बहुत severe किस्म की बीमारियां हो जाती हैं, Alzheimer's हो गया, MS हो गया, जो deteriorate होते उनका हम कुछ नहीं कर सकते. और बहुत सारी mental illnesses भी होती है, schizophrenia है, उस तरह की हैं जिनको सिर्फ दवाइयों से आप मैनेज कर सकते हैं. लेकिन जो हम जिन चीज़ों की बात कर रहे हैं, जिनकी साइकोथेरेपी से हेल्प हो सकता है, उनके अगर आपकी वायर्स और क्रॉस या आपकी कम्युनिकेशन में ब्रेक आ गई है या कुछ इस तरह की है, तो हमारी ब्रेन में if we're start to take care of it, it has the ability to heal itself to some degree. It has the ability to heal itself. And again, that's also like any other part of the body. You get a cut. You take care of it. It will heal. हमारी हड्डी टूटती है. We take care of it. It heals. And अगर थोड़ा ज़्यादा हो, again, अगर कट पड़ जाए तो हम उसको बस थोड़ा सा साफ वाफ करके रखें तो वो वैसे ही हील हो जाता है without any दवाइयाँ और anything. ठीक है ना? लेकिन अगर हड्डी टूट जाती है, then we have to go to the doctor, get it fixed. दवाइयाँ खानी पड़ती हैं, antibiotics, this and that. It's the same thing with our brain. अगर कोई ऐसी ये सब स्ट्रेस है, हल्का फुल्का डिप्रेशन है, कोई हल्की फुल्की चीज़ है, तो साइकोथेरेपी will work. लेकिन बहुत ज़्यादा सीवियर है, महीनों से बिस्तर से नहीं उठे, रात नहीं ब्रश किए हैं, नहाए नहीं है, किसी से बात नहीं करनी है, everybody is out to get me, everybody hates me, और मेरा कोई वो नहीं, nobody cares about me. Then with psychotherapy you will have to add medication, जिसके लिए hi Anam, Assalamu alaikum, जिसके लिए you will have to also take medication. अब यहाँ पे आके नहीं मैं दवाइयाँ नहीं, आप एंटीबायोटिक ले लें, राइट? अगर आपके हाथ में दर्द, हाथ में चोट लग गई है, या कोई आप गिर गए हैं और आपके यहाँ पे कोई ब्रूस पड़ गया बड़ा सा, डॉक्टर कह रहा है कि ये आपकी मसल पुल हो गया है, whatever it may be. But अगर आपके सर में चोट है, inside your head, there is उसी तरह की चोट है, राइट? और आपको एक मेडिकल डॉक्टर, साइकाइट्रिस्ट, वो भी मेडिकल डॉक्टर है, उसने सर को खोल खाल के अंदर से सब स्कैनिंग करा के देखा है. ही नोज कि आपके सर में जो न्यूरॉन्स हैं उनका डिस्कनेक्ट हुआ है, या उनकी वायरिंग यहाँ जाने के बजाय यहाँ चली गई है. And he needs to fix it. He needs to disconnect this wire from here and make it, at least not be connected to the wrong neuron. And he's telling you need medication for that while talking to somebody to help you heal. जो बात खराब हो चुकी है उसको heal करें. Why not? Brain is an organ just like any other organ. It's going to help you. Same way this is going to help you. And sometimes जब बहुत severe होती है इस तरह की चीज़ें, mental health के problem, तो you have to, जब healing इस तरह से नहीं हो पाती, and you just have to manage कि अब ये हो चुका है डैमेज, और अगर इसको छोड़ेंगे तो दवाई नहीं लेंगे तो डैमेज बढ़ता चला जाएगा. दवाई लेने से जगह पे कम से कम बढ़ेगा नहीं. उस पर ये होता है कि सारी दवाई खानी पड़ेगी. And it's just like, okay, if you had blood pressure, high blood pressure, आप दवाई ना खाते. I have an autoimmune disease जो मुझे हो गई थी. I was around 12 or 13. उस वक्त तो मुझे दवाइयाँ ज़ाहिर है उस वक्त नहीं ख्याल आता, पेरेंट्स नहीं करते हैं बढ़ते, but I was 18, well, no, 17 when I started taking medication for it. What was I supposed to do? मेरे joint पे affect हो रहा था. Was I supposed to say कि नहीं मैं दवाइयाँ नहीं खाऊंगी, मुझे सारी उम्र खानी पड़ेंगी, मैं तो नहीं खा रही? Was I supposed to let my joint deform? No. In the same way, अगर मुझे कोई depression or anxiety और इस तरह की और जो बीमारियां होती हैं अगर हों, तो what would happen? Of course I want to be healthy. Of course I want my brain to be healthy. Of course I want to enjoy my life. I want to live an active and healthy life. In the same way, just say I want my joints to be active and healthy, and I want to be able to write, and I want to be able to run, and my knees to not freeze every time I try to walk. You want all of that. It's exactly the same thing. और मुझे एक medical doctor ने कहा, right? जो मेरा rheumatologist है, he's a medical doctor. उसने specialization की है rheumatology में, autoimmune diseases में. उसने मुझे बताया कि ये करना है तुम्हें, मेरा regimen वो set करता है. अभी तक अब उसके पास तो नहीं, different doctor obviously, but उन्हीं डॉक्टर रोमेटोलॉजिस्ट के पास ही जाके मैं अपने मेडिकेशन वगैरह सेट करती हूँ, अपनी रेजिमेन सब क्या करना है, कैसे चेंज होना है, किस चीज़ कौन सी दवाई लेनी है, कौन सी नहीं लेनी. Why are we so unsure and not wanting to go to psychiatrists. वो भी तो medical doctors हैं, उन्हें भी specialization की है इस field में brain को आगे पीछे करके. So these are questions that we have to ask ourselves and think about very, very thoroughly. Think about कि ये क्या difference आ जाता है. उन चीज़ों के लिए, इतना की बीमारियों के लिए, we're ready to take medication because we know we have to keep healthy. लेकिन दिमाग की बीमारी के लिए, we don't want to take medication, even though we know that we have to keep healthy. And I think we know the answer because ये हमारे एक culture का stigma है, right? Mental illness. Oh my God, mental illness. दिमाग खराब है, शादी कैसे होगी? और इस पे तो एक धब्बा लग जाएगा कि ये तो बीमार है, तो दवाइयाँ खा रही है. और मियाँ ने देख लिया, अगर मियाँ को पता चल गया, बताएंगे तो वो रिश्ता नहीं करेंगे, वो तो कहेंगे तो पागल लड़की हमें दे दी. और and this is just one aspect of it, right? और इतने सारे aspects होते हैं. ये इन दवाइयों से पता नहीं क्या, अगर प्रेग्नेंट नहीं हुई तो क्या होगा? और you know, like there are millions of issues with it, and I completely understand because that happens. It's a real thing, and there are many kinds of stigma. एक तो स्टिग्मा होता है जिसमें एक वो पूरे structured stigma, right? जिसमें ये है कि policies हैं, organizations हैं, laws हैं that are that don't favor mental illness. You know, like जिन लोगों के problems हैं, जिन लोगों को थोड़े बहुत issues हैं, उनके लिए it's not easy for them in the society. Like our society, it's not easy. You can't talk about mental illness. You can't talk about being, having any kind of issue, having any kind of, dealing with any kind of problem. उसको इतना बड़ा issue बना दिया जाता है, उसको इतना बड़ा problem बना दिया जाता है. ये तो हमारे यहाँ तो खैर physical disability का भी बहुत बड़ा issue बना दिया जाता है. You can't have a physical disability either and function. But, wheelchairs वगैरह उसमें की access नहीं है. तो मेंटल हेल्थ का तो आप नाम भी नहीं ले सकते. यहाँ पे आप कम से कम थोड़ा बहुत आपको अगर है तो आप बोल सकते हैं कि मैं इस तरह नहीं बैठ सकती, मुझे ये चेयर दे दें, वो दे दें, थोड़ा बहुत हो जाता है. बट आप ये नहीं कह सकते कि मेरा थोड़ा मेंटली आगे पीछे होगी हेल्थ, तो आप इसके लिए अकोमोडेट कर दें. दैट यू कैंट एक्सेप्ट पीपल गिव यू जॉब्स और इफ यू हैव दीस थिंग्स. तो एक वो चीज़ हो गई. फिर दूसरा है कि हमारा अपना जो स्टिग्मा जिसकी हम बात कर रहे हैं अभी, कि we start to think that we are less human. Automatically होता है कि I have this problem, I have this mental health problem, let's say I have depression, I'm not a good enough person. I'm not worthy of this. I'm not worthy to compete with other people who are normal. Because all of a sudden, you have this label on you, और आप normal नहीं हैं, आप good enough नहीं हैं दूसरे लोगों के हिसाब से. और दूसरे लोग भी आप पे एक वो लगा देते हैं, धब्बा सा लगा देते हैं. Assalamu alaikum, Sohail. You can contact us, DM us, and somebody will get in touch with you and definitely help you. So, you feel like, okay, I am not good enough, I can't be part of other people. तो वो एक negative जो अपने लिए जो आपके ज़हन में आ जाती है ना, उसी में you don't want to tell anybody. You don't want to get help. And you keep that to yourself. और उसका नुकसान क्या होता है? It keeps getting worse and worse and worse. Okay, you're afraid to get help because you don't want other people to find out. So nobody finds out. And then nobody gets help for you. So your own stigma for your own self. And then there's a public stigma. उस तरह का एक ये हमने institutionalized structured stigma है कि policies हैं, laws हैं, उसमें consider नहीं किया जाता कि लोगों के mental health issues भी matter करते हैं या होते हैं. फिर एक public stigma कि दूसरों के जो views हैं. अब हम जो self stigma है वो होता ही इसलिए है कि दूसरों के views हैं. एक public stigma उसकी वजह से you feel unworthy, you don't tell other people, or you don't discuss your problems with other people to get help, to make life easier for you. It's because you know कि लोग इतना negative react करते हैं. Like if you tell somebody, you this, I'm not able to, handle too much because I'm stressed out because such and such is happening in my life, you won't get a response that makes you feel like, ho jata hai yaar, it's okay, I'm here for you, let me know what you need. You'll get a response like, ye to sabke saath hota hai, stress to life ka part hai, why are you being so sensitive? Then you don't want to share, right? Or if you said, tell somebody, such a ye jo cheez hai mujhe trigger karti hai. For example, you're triggered by certain kind of discussion. You're triggered by certain topic or certain, situation. होता है आपको कुछ हुआ है जिंदगी में और आप certain चीज को नहीं देख सकते, उससे आप ट्रिगर हो जाते हैं, उससे आपको वो चीज याद आ जाती है जो आपके साथ हो चुका है, जो ट्रेजेडी हो चुकी है. आप किसी को बता दें कि ये ना किया करो, या ये कैसे करना किया करो, या मुझे ऐसी जगह मत लेके जाया करो जहाँ पे ये हो. I get triggered, मुझे वो याद आ जाता है, and then I kind of get like an anxiety attack or panic attack. And that's a very normal thing. And yes, you should get help to get past that. But जब तक आप proper help ना लें, you can tell people around you कि इस situation में मुझे ना डालो. So, but you won't. Because जब public का reaction होगा कि ये क्या बच्चों वाली बात है, अब तुम कभी जिंदगी में ये करोगे ही नहीं, अब ये चीज देखोगे ही नहीं, अब ये चीज होगी ही नहीं. Rather than being supportive and saying, okay, but the reaction should be, hey, if you want to talk about it, I'm here for you. Or let me find somebody to help you, and you can go to this, psychologist or this psychiatrist, and I know this place where they can help you. Try to help that person rather than just being like, oh God, seriously, अब हम ये भी नहीं कर सकते, अब ये भी आपने हमारा जो है वो बंद कर दिया, ये भी हो गया. So, I mean, these kinds of things. Then they start to judge you if you are kind of reserved because you have a hard time opening up to people. Some people have social anxiety. Rather than saying, okay, let me just make the first effort because har koi nahi is gonna open up with that. You just like, God, you have such an attitude. Why are you so rude to people? Everybody has their own way of dealing with situations of, rather than just misjudging and discriminating on the basis of their mental health situation or even physical health situation. Just be welcome, तो उसकी वजह से फिर आपका पर्सनल स्टिग्मा डेवलप हो जाता है. इवन इफ यू डोंट वांट टू हैव अ पर्सनल स्टिग्मा, वो डेवलप हो जाता है. बट इट इज आवर जॉब टू जस्ट काइंड ऑफ कीप ourselves free of it and let it in. जो हमारी feelings है ना, we need to let those in. How do we let those in, and how do we avoid all of this? I don't have a very solid answer for that for you. First thing that you need to do is don't label people. People who have mental health issues are not crazy. And like we talked about just now, it's just like आपके अगर हाथ में या पैर में या physically सर में मुंह पे कोई चोट लग जाती है, it's the same thing. आपके neurons जो है वो they're dying, they're hurt, their connection is cut. It's exactly the same thing. Brain is an organ. So please don't label people. Don't label yourself. That's the first step. अपने brain को इसके लिए prepare करें, अपने आप को prepare करें. ठीक है ना? You are not going to be able to get help जब तक आपको ये बात समझ में नहीं आएगी, यकीन नहीं आएगा इस बात का कि mental health is like any other type of health. Your physical health and mental health, they're all exactly the same. And you will not be physically healthy if you're not mentally healthy. जो आपका mental stress होता है, वो आपकी physical body पे show होना शुरू हो जाता है. a lot of time, if you have a lot of stress or if you have a lot of mental health issues, you will get physically sick. 95% of the time, you will be physically sick. कोई ना कोई बीमारी हो जाती है या you just generally in pain और कुछ ना कुछ हो जाता है. Because it's all attached. Your brain carrying the burden of your entire body. Right? It has to take care of your other organs, your limbs, all of it. So if your brain is having issues, feelings and emotions ke saath, how is it going to carry all the functions of the rest of the body? It's going to malfunction eventually. So first of all, prepare yourself to take care of your mental health. Other thing is to speak up when you see other people being labeled, other people with mental health issues being mistreated, because वही है ना कि वो भी अपना take care नहीं कर रहे हैं और उनकी situation is probably getting worse and worse. And if they're being mistreated, that means कि उनकी situation उस point पे आ गई है कि it's showing. Because जब आपकी थोड़ी सी और ज़्यादा खराब हो जाती है situation, when you're not getting help, you're not getting psychotherapy, you're not getting the medication that you need, then it shows. Then you may be paranoid, you may be a violent, angry person, you're speaking loudly, you're being rude, you're doing this and that, but पता लग जाता है कि this is a mental issue. You're not just a bad person, but you're still being treated that way. You're being discriminated, you're being, badly treated, and ऐसा behavior लोगों का है, तो you need to speak up, and you need to protect those people, and try to get them help. Or एक और चीज़ है, and educate yourself about mental health. Read about it. We have Google. I mean, make sure that you go to sites that are, proper or सही तरीके की and not higher information. Google पे is not, वो सही नहीं होती, but please educate yourself. There are books available. Google पे सही information be available. Hey, we're here to help you. If you want information, let us know. We'll provide you with links. We'll provide you with names of books and people that you can follow and talk to who have information that you can use. So educate yourself. It's the most important thing. And listen to people. Meaning, जब कोई आपको अपना मसला बताए, so don't dismiss it. You don't have to know the solution. You don't have to fix it for them. And you don't have to even give them like, oh, yahan chali jao, wahan karo. You don't have to know any of that. I mean, like I was saying, if help ho, aap kisi se help मांगे, whatever. अगर वो आपसे help मांगते हैं, तो ज़रूर उनको solution देने की कोशिश करें. Like find help. But again, we have internet these days, and you can find everything on the internet. But if somebody is just talking to you, just listen to them. Make them feel heard. And usually that's all anybody wants. Because we don't have the solution to everything. We don't have the answers to everything. But we have the heart, the empathy, or we can have it. Rather than saying, ये क्या बड़ी बात है? मैं तो ये भी कर सकती हूँ, तुम्हें क्या है? तुम ये नहीं कर सकते, तुम्हें ये, don't do that. Everybody has their own strength and their own ability to handle different things. You may be able to handle the problem that they're discussing with you, but they're not. And that's them. Just hear them out. Just let them talk. And yeah, if they're talking to you because they need help, then just ask them, what do you need me to do for you? I understand this must be very difficult for you. अब मुझे बताओ मैं क्या कर सकती हूँ तुम्हारे लिए? मैं कैसे help करूँ? Let them tell you. Because it's them, right? They need the help. Let them tell you what they need you to do. दूसरों के लिए हमको अपनी mental health को तो ख्याल करना ही है. अपने लिए ख्याल करना है. Make sure करना है कि हम अपने आप को mentally fit रखें. Again, इसमें सिर्फ ये बात नहीं है कि जब हमें कोई प्रॉब्लम लगे कि हम बहुत डिप्रेस हो गए हैं, हमें पैनिक अटैक्स हो रहे हैं, या हमें ये लग रहा है कि everybody is out to get us और हमें paranoia हो रहा है and this and that, तभी हम जाके किसी को contact करें. If we should feel like we're not living our best life, that's enough reason to get help and rearrange our lives. That's good enough. Because you want to be on top, your top game at all times. जैसे हम फिजिकल को कहते हैं ना कि फिजिकल हर 6 महीने बाद फिर साल भर बाद करवाना चाहिए औरतों को मैमोग्राम करवाने चाहिए and this and that. It's the same thing. Keep your mind absolutely healthy. And the same thing for other people. Keep a check on your family and your friends, and anytime you notice that God has been very quiet for so many days, or she hasn't left the house in 15 days and she hasn't contacted me, and contact them. Ask them how they are. And if you feel it doesn't seem like they're quite okay, then ask them and see if you can get them help. Because it's the same thing. If you see somebody limping for like 8, 9, 10 days, you're going to be like, what's wrong? Are you hurt? Are your legs hurting? You have a back problem? Have you seen a doctor for that? What's going on? आप करेंगे ना? Somebody you care about, your parents, your sibling is a close friend. आप पूछेंगे, क्या हो रहा है? Why are you limping? टांग में दर्द है, कमर में दर्द है. What's the problem? It's the same thing. If a person is showing signs, they're down, they're depressed, it's the exact same thing. So please ask questions. Please show concern and get them help. I mean, that would be, like a donkey example. You take toothache. You have a toothache. What are you going to do? Are you going to question that and say, oh, I need to go to a dentist and get this taken care of? Because toothache, वो pain जो है, वो एक कहाँ से आ रहा है? Those are neurons that are connected. Go to the spine and then go to, because spine के through सारा होता है ना, and then cause the pain because something is wrong in your tooth. And it's a warning. Okay, something is wrong in the tooth. Take care of it. Right? Now, if you don't feel like getting out of bed consecutively for a week, you don't feel like doing anything, and you feel extremely tired, and there's no physical reason for it. You don't have a fever, you don't have anything else. That's your body's way of telling you your connection is missing. Your brain, something not right with your brain. I mean, your brain's way of telling you that something is not right over here. This needs to be. In the exact same way that pain is telling you that your tooth needs to be looked at. So why is it that you would rush to take care of this, but when you are in bed for a whole week, not able to move, not able to do anything, extremely tired, feels like you've done like पता नहीं कितने पहाड़ उठा के कहीं रखे, even though you haven't moved? Why is that not a warning that something is not right up here? And why is that such a big stigma and such a big label लग जाएगा अगर इस चीज को ठीक करने की कोशिश की? So I don't have a solution for this problem, but I do have suggestions for change. Because that is what we're doing here too. We're working to change this system that we are, for no reason, creating for ourselves that takes us down this rabbit hole where we destroy our brain just because people will label us. Just because people will think we're crazy. People will think that. People will say that. People. What about ourselves? Stop with people for a minute. Just forget about people. Take care of yourself. And we're here on this ride with you. We want to help you. We will continue to help you. We're always here looking out for you, trying to do right by you. And I will again tell you, our psychologists, counselors are here to help you. We don't have psychiatrists, but if we see that our client needs a psychiatrist, we refer you to psychiatrists. But definitely, please get help, and please keep an eye open for your friends and family if you feel they need help. And if you feel that you can't convince them, you can contact us and we can help you with that process as well. And again, I will say, please understand that our psychologists and counselors do charge a fee. And we've talked about this before, that they go through a lot of studying, a lot of training, a lot of hard work, years and years of education and training, and so much work. This is their profession. That's how they make money for their living, for their rent, their bills, their groceries, everything. So if you're actually extremely needy, we understand, and we will give you either a discount or free service, of course. But please keep in mind that they do need to be paid. And again, because it's just like any other profession, don't take it lightly for yourself and for our professional psychologists and counselors. This is, I keep repeating it because it's so important, and this gets neglected. Just like we neglect our mental health, we neglect our mental health professionals, thinking that this is not a real job, this is not a real profession, because we don't consider this a real illness or a real problem. And it's all extremely real, extremely important. So they need the same respect that you need as their client, their patient. So that's all I had for you. Thank you so much for your time and your attention. And again, I'll remind you about the course. Please go to our bio and profile bio, whatever you call it, and register. It's starting this Monday, and our mental health week is also starting this Monday. But course, please register. Don't lose your spot because you're waiting or you're not sure. And I would love to see all of you in that course. It's a self-actualization through the Quran. It is an amazing course. It was a success last time, and I loved teaching it. I loved, learning from you guys, from the people that we had last time. And I would love to see you guys there. And if you have any questions or comments or anything to add about the course, go ahead and DM us. And if you have any questions or comments about this over here, sure. But time's up. So when we post it, you can comment and get your questions out at that time as well. Alrighty. Have a good night, good morning, good evening, depending on where you are. And it was good talking to you guys.